Hey everyone, Ivy Gaming here, and today we're playing Raid Shadow Legends, and I just did this amazing, brutal Hydra key. This is my B team, not my A team for Nightmare. I actually wanted to put out a video on Nightmare first, but because I already had people geared for Brutal, because I did Brutal after Nightmare last time, I didn't want to swap gear around multiple times, so instead we did this. This was so good. I actually recorded this with a different screenshot over my face. Let me see. We actually had this one. 29.74 was what I did last time with the same team. And then this time we did 45 million. And honestly, I was worried about my RNG because I actually had some heads pop up in an order that was kind of hurtful. I was worried about the Head of Mischief and the Head of Torment being up at the same time because I want to use Duchess A2, but then stuff could get stolen. But I think in the end, Ugo's block buffs and her being in a reflex set really saved the day. Or is she in Relentless? She might be in Relentless. We'll see. I'll check the gear after. But I actually was surprised at the lack of buffs getting stolen. Sometimes they got stolen, but even when they did, it didn't kill my run. And we got this amazing 45 million key on Brutal. I'm so happy with this. Last time, like I said, I got just over the minimum, and that was it, and I was happy. And now I'm super, super freaking happy. Not gonna lie. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into this run, and I'm going to talk through the first like 10 minutes of it. And then I'll speed the run up and go to the end. But that way you guys can kind of see my thought process while we're going at it. To be honest, I try to be very careful about what I'm targeting, but you'll notice that toward the end of the run especially, I'll start just targeting random freaking heads just based on affinity or based on what's down, or sometimes I just have to be a little bit random because you're trying to avoid a certain head for a reason. Like, I don't want to do the ticks on the Head of Wrath yet, or oops, we don't have Valon, can't hit the Head of Torment. So sometimes my hits may seem a little bit random, but I lose train of thought a little bit sometimes, and it's okay. It's not 100% perfect, but what is and who is. So this is awesome. I love this team. So let's get to the run, and then I'll show you the builds. All right, now here's the team, guys. This is not using a Mischief target, which is really risky, but luckily we're not starting with the Head of Mischief, so it's a little less likely it's gonna pop up versus Nightmare Hydra. But it's gonna pop up, let's be honest. We're just gonna have to deal with that, unfortunately, and hope hope he doesn't steal much. So we'll probably hold back on Duchess's debuffs for that reason. But for sake of the poisons and some other debuffs, I will go ahead and use Duchess's A2. I'm gonna lead right in with HP burn and weaken there. Boom, my Geomancer, as you can see, is in a Relentless set. We're gonna smash with Royal Guard. And we're going to place block buffs. Solus is here to provoke. We're going to provoke the Head of Decay. Then we don't have to worry about him cleansing if we can keep him provoked. So what I actually have here, in a perfect world, I would also have someone else in a taunting set to make sure we could keep the provokes up all the time. But the provoke is going to be a little bit risky without having Solus is in a reflex set. We're gambling on the reflex set. So know that I'm being a little bit risky here, and there are going to be times it fails. Now, the Head of Decay is probably the most annoying because we have to always provoke it, right? So I'm probably going to try to get rid of that one first. Along the way, we're going to deal with the Head of Wrath pretty quickly too, because he's pretty squishy and dies fairly quick. So, and he's like the weak affinity for my smashes from Royal Guard. It's not too bad. All right. Boom, there we go. He increases the duration of debuffs too with his A3. So Solus is a really nice pick for this. But really, you could use any provoker. Honestly, Bivald would have been a really nice choice like I used in the faction games. He would be great in this position instead of Solus. Also in a reflex set or even in taunting gear. So let's keep targeting the Head of Decay. We want to make sure we have some protection when the Head of Wrath goes. He's going to tick. I'm actually going to use the HP burn on the Head of Blight next because he takes extra damage from HP burns. Now, I really want Duchess's Veil up. I probably should have saved that for a better time when I know we're going to have some protection here. But we do have the shields, so we should be okay. We are okay. All right, let's keep trying to provoke the Head of Decay so he doesn't do his skills. Honestly, I don't need to use that again, but I did out of habit. I do have Lydia in a refresh gear set, or sorry, reflex set, just in case. I might have said refresh in the other moments. I meant reflex. But I actually wanted that more for the A3 than the A2, but she comes back to that so often because of the reflex gear. It's really nice. All right, block buffs is on almost everyone except the Head of Decay. We don't want it even going off anyone, so let's just do that. We definitely need to provoke the Head of Decay again. I really hope Solis has... Oh, he doesn't. So this is where it is what it is, right? This is the bummer. We're relying on the reflex gear actually proccing. I'm gonna protect us a little bit here. We're gonna have to revive Royal Guard and Geomancer, but that's fine. Duchess is here for that. That's not a big deal at all, honestly. All right, so let's decrease defense and weaken. Let's get back our main damage dealers. He is going to provoke again to hopefully not put a life barrier up on anyone. And we're going to continue targeting him. Putting that leech up on everyone is really helpful for healing. I want to make sure the Head of Wrath does not put an increased attack buff on himself, so that's why I used Lydia's A3. It's so RNG with some of these. A lot of it really does depend on which heads are going to pop up and how do those play off your lineup. Or the combination of which heads with the other heads. Like, it's really fascinating to see how much better or worse I do when what combination of heads are up. And all my teams are going to have a different strong point. This is not my A team, keep in mind. This is my B team. My A team is my Nightmare Hydra team, which I will be doing in another video. But I want to try regularly, guys, when I change my Hydra team or try something a little bit different in general, or there's a different rotation and it forces me to change, like maybe we take out Royal Guard and we use Husk instead. I'm going to show you guys those videos from here so you guys can see the combinations I use and why they work for me. Now, unfortunately, we had a resist on the HP burn, but that's fine. I think I'm just going to go back here and HP burn the Head of Blight. The Head of Blight does take more damage from HP burn, as I mentioned. Oh, so I didn't provoke enough, so we have Life Bearer on the Head of Wrath. I really don't want him to heal. And alright, he's going to cleanse. The Head of Decay is going to cleanse everyone, so we definitely want to use that provoke now. They're all dead again. It's fine. Let's heal with Ugo and cleanse, and then revive with Duchess. So that damage mitigation really helps and makes a big difference. Alright. Let's make sure he's not, again, adding more buffs that smash us. Oh, look at this. We actually have the provoke up, and we got a refresh proc. Or a reflex proc. I actually might have refresh accessories on him, too. We'll find out when I look at the builds. But right here, we're going to just... I'm just going to hit him to try to get this life barrier down, honestly, right now. Let's get decreased defense and block buffs on everybody. He still has a provoke, so we didn't need to use Solis's provoke. That was really nice. So we can just save that for another time. Alright, we really don't want him to heal up. But she doesn't hit that hard, so I'm just going to hit him to not add an extra tick. Oof, my Royal Guard is really squishy. That's one thing I really need to work on is my Royal Guard, or the timing of my Veil to make sure that I'm keeping Royal Guard a little bit better alive, or make sure I have some leeches up from Ugo, right? He's got to heal back up, and he's having a hard time doing that right now. All right, we're gonna end up smash. I should have put this up sooner so he could have the HP burn take away that damage from Life Barrier as well. That was a mistake. So, all right, we definitely need some protection, and we need to provoke the Head of Decay again, or he's gonna use his skill there. Let's go ahead and try to get a leech on him. Nope, fail. Whew, we are risky over here. But that's what Duchess is for. She makes this way less risky, guys. She makes this way less risky. I'm gonna show you guys this run until the next head pops up, and then we will discuss. So I'm actually gonna try to target the down head as much as possible. Except for, well, there's no point to put the HP burn up, so I think I'm just going to place that here. And plus, of course, we need to provoke with Solis on the Head of Decay. I'm just gonna, you know what, she's not doing much damage, so who cares. Block buffs is on the Head of Wrath. I like that. We're not gonna really use that right now. You know what? Smash. There we go. Boom. We want that smash when there's a down head. Oh, so I missed the provoke chance, so my timing got off. That's one thing that I have to worry about, is sometimes things just shift depending on turn meter boosting or not, depending on if you have increased speed or not, and this team doesn't always have it up. So that affects a lot of things. It also does not have decreased speed against the heads, which is really beneficial. That's one thing I really wish I could have got into this team that I did not, is a decreased speed AoE. But I use that in my other teams. You'll see Lady Kimmy could probably lend herself very well for this team. But it's so hard finding the right combination of synergies where you feel like you're covering all your bases and not missing something. Like if I threw Lady Kimmy in here instead of Ugo, well, there goes my cleanser. You know, it's like there's always something. It would be a bit risky, or I'd have to find another way to use someone else that has multiple utilities too. So it's kind of just about trying to tick all the boxes you possibly can tick without, you know, messing up your team synergy. And just, I don't know, it's really frustrating to feel like you get all the bases covered and then you start doing a run. You're like, oh, I have no cleanse, or oh, I have no way to deal with the Head of Mischief, or oh, I have nothing to deal with Torment. It's really, really frustrating. So you really just gotta be careful and pay attention to all the bases. And my one base that I'm missing in this one, my one tick box, my check box that I'm missing, is definitely decreased speed for this team. But I'm not sure. Maybe there's a different person I could swap in to do a better job. But when it comes to Head of Decay, especially being in the start of the rotation, I really want to have a provoker. And Solus is a good job, does a good job with that, and he does good damage. So we did get lucky. The Head of Blight came right back up, which is fine. I could totally deal with the Head of Blight. That's what our block buffs is here for. All right, I'm going to save my provoke in case the Head of Decay does pop back up. And then we're just going to start attacking the heads. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to stop right here with my commentating. I'm going to speed this up. I think you kind of get the idea of why we're attacking, what we're attacking. If the Head of Torment comes up, I'm going to use Duchess's Val, of course, as much as I can, and try not to attack him unless the champion is under Val. If the Head of Mischief comes up, we're going to be worried about our buffs getting stolen, so I'm not going to use Duchess's A2. And ideally, maybe not even Lydia's A2 as well, if I can avoid it until the Head of Mischief is gone. Because you know those buffs are going to get stolen depending on our timing. So it's just stuff to consider. I don't have a debuffer. And in this team, I maybe could have worked in Godseeker and Lady Kimmy instead of maybe Ugo and... See, I don't know. It's the hard part. She can't really replace Duchess. Duchess is really helpful, but in a different way. Maybe Godseeker and Lady Kimmy instead of Ugo and Duchess, but it's still not quite the same comp. So that's the fun of this, is figuring out synergies. But all right, I'm going to remove myself and continue this run. And if this run does fall apart, I'm going to show the other run that was successful, so I don't keep trying to re-show good or bad RNG, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes my dynasty.
let's get to the champions. That was such a nice run. I was so surprised with the result. All right, so first up, I do have Duchess. She's really great in this position, just as a reviver as damage mitigation for the Head of Wrath with the Veil. I don't have her changed from my arena build. She is built like I have her for arena. Nothing changed. So the good thing here is I have resistance on her. So when the Head of Mischief does pop up, if she's the one that has the most buffs up at the time, which did happen a couple times, she can resist the steal from the Head of Mischief. So that was really nice. My Duchess is fully booked, and then my masteries are, again, arena masteries. This is for arena, not necessarily a Hydra, but hey, it works. Honestly, I worry about lasting gifts in this situation too, because it could throw off like the cooldowns on stuff. But but honestly, like in this situation, this team, I don't have a mischief target anyway, so it's okay in this case. But I could have a different team with a mischief target, but mischief is not the start, so I get hopeful that I don't get him too often. Although in this run, I got him a lot, and it still was okay. You just got to be careful about what you have up. And again, Duchess having some resistance really saved me. So next up was my Ugo number 2. She doesn't have... Oh, okay, she's not fully leveled. Let me actually do Ugo 2. So I swapped the gear around between my Ugos for my other runs. So we have Refresh Accessories, Cleansing Ring, and Relentless Gear. So my Ugo has enough accuracy to land stuff here in Brutal. This one is set for Brutal. And then we have good defense, not great HP, but enough. And then okay speed. So she is fully booked as well, and her masteries are kind of set for sake of, well, you know the drill. Pretty much what we'd call clan boss masteries, just a little bit different here. I do like to take Life Drinker, but I probably could adjust this slightly as well. But yeah, this is really nice. Anything to refer chances for the cooldown to be able to use those skills again is really, really helpful. Let me cut this in here. Okay. Next up is my Geomancer number 2. He's such a good champion, guys. All right, let's show his masteries first. Typical clan boss masteries plus this stuff over here that kind of really helps in Hydra. We have him fully booked, Relentless Gear, and even a Revenge accessory as well. If I had Reflex Gear like crazy, I would have that on him, or Reflex. If I had Refresh accessories, I would have them on him too if I had more. We have okay HP and defense, not crazy, but solid speed. I did not worry about crit rate on him either, and I did go for a nice high accuracy. So that's helpful. And then we have my Royal Guard number 2. My Royal Guard is in Reflex Gear. Reflex Gear is insane. Refresh accessory, the only one I've got that works for him. That's on him too. He is fully booked, and masteries again are kind of geared toward the same. War Master procs for bosses, increased chances for buff extensions, and a little extra damage plus healing. He is just so good. So I have him. Oh, he has too much crit rate. I was swapping his gear with the other one, and I didn't quite get the swaps just right. But it's fine. He's good enough speed for Brutals, and the accuracy is not enough to really land his decreased defense. I don't worry about using the decreased speed, honestly, because I just want to make sure that the A2 is proccing as much as possible. So in this run, I actually don't use the decreased speed, and it didn't hurt me. You see how good that run is without using any decreased speed. So as long as you have a good speed, and plus I got Lydia in there, it doesn't hurt, right? It doesn't hurt to have it that way. So he's solidly built, but I would like to get this crit rate down and the crit damage up. It's pretty low. In a perfect world, I would, but my reflex gear for damage kind of sucks. It is what it is. Speaking of which, I have Soulless in here for a Provoker, Damage Dealer, and Buff Extender. He also strips buffs before placing the Provoke, which I didn't even realize he did until this run. A2, chance to remove all buffs, 75%, 100% chance to remove all buffs when he attacks with this Provoke. So even if the Head of Decay has a block debuffs buff up, oh well, Solus has got that covered. He's so good for this. Same thing here. I love his A3. It's really nice in the fact that it extends debuffs. From on the other, all the is AoE and extends debuffs. So you can, if you have HP burns up, block buffs, he's really great to pair with well, Anugo or anyone else that's in there for those reasons, or like Geomancer. The only regret is I wish I had him in my Siphi team, because increased defense buff is going to make him do more damage instead of my Duchess that doesn't increase attack buff. At least she helps out Royal Guard, I guess, and Geo and Lydia, whatever. No, not Lydia. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. But honestly, I would love to get a different combination with Siphi, maybe instead of Duchess, and then see what happens. But it works. I didn't want to break what don't break what isn't, or don't fix what isn't broken, right? That's the saying. So he's in reflex gear, and he's still in a random reaction gear from my using him in arena. I don't really use him in arena now. He's slow 200. I was using him in swift parry, I think, or savage. I actually don't have him crit capped. Oh god. Again, my reflex gear is terrible, but I still used it anyway, and you see the result. It's fine. It's gonna miss sometimes though without that 100%. And my crit damage is really low. I really need to farm the Ice Golem seriously and get better crit damage gear for reflex gear, reflex artifacts. His defense is solid at 4,000 and enough accuracy to land his provokes. And then his masteries are set with health. Oh, he's still set for arena? I think we're gonna go with the War Master procs. Crit damage, we want that healing. I don't know if we increase damage to targets with less than, Don't know that we even really need this one. I guess it wouldn't hurt though. That's not gonna happen too much. Alright, let me go here, guys. We're gonna give him his accuracy back. We're changing this live because why the hell not? I want to give him the best chances to refresh his stuff as well. Now, provokes you can't really take advantage for Sniper and Master Hexer, so they're pointless. But if everyone else is dead and he's the only one alive, allowing him to do some extra smashes, maybe get someone back who was eaten, kind of worth it, I think. So I think I'm gonna go there. I'm also gonna go here for extra damage, and I think at the end of the day, when a buff cast by this champion, he only does a one shield, so meh. So I think I'm gonna go extra damage here. Let's see. Increases damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with 50% HP or less. He ends up really low every now and then because of the reality of Hydra, so I think I'll go with that. And increased damage inflicted to targets with less than 40. This I think I'm gonna go with too. Alright, let's go there. There we go. New masteries for Solus. He's such a good damage dealer, and the provoking of decay, keeping that up all the time. We really need that reflex gear or someone else to provoke, because these are not enough to keep it on the head of decay the whole time. Unless you had him in crazy speed where he could go multiple times, it's not really gonna happen though. And last but not least, I had Lydia involved. Lydia is wonderful. She's such a good champion for Hydra. I have her with good survivability, fast speed to make sure she's placed in that decreased defense before everyone goes as much as possible, and enough accuracy to land her debuffs. Of course, she's got her lovely increased speed and strength and buffs, and then decreased defense and weaken. And this is really nice for throwing, making sure you throw it on the head of Wrath so he doesn't give you that lovely increase attack. Well, he doesn't get the increased attack buff, and you know how that goes. So, and then luckily with Ugo in there too, like there's always block buffs up. You see how much that was up. And then Solus can extend them. It was just a really good combination. And so I do have Lydia in my typical dungeon clan boss mastery type situation here. So this is set for that. I think I guess this might be a little bit more useful Obviously not Hydra, but for sake of Doom Tower, this was really helpful. So I left the masteries as is instead of changing just the one for sake of this. But I do use Lydia heavily in Doom Tower, so I didn't want to change her too much for there. And it actually worked really well. But there you have it. This was a really nice Hydra run. This team could be solidly used for Nightmare Hydra as well. 100% you could use this team for Nightmare Hydra. You just would need higher accuracies, and if you do have anyone trying to resist the Head of Mischief, you're going to need higher resistance too, but that's not the case here. Maybe a little bit faster speeds, a little bit more, a lot more survivability, and higher accuracy, and you could get away with this team in the head. I really think you could for the Nightmare as well. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope this was helpful for those that are working on their Hydra runs, and I will be doing my Nightmare Hydra run as well for a video so you guys can see my A team, because this was just my B team and they rocked it. But hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys live on Twitch or in the next video.